All right. Are you looking to build your coaching, your consulting, your business really fast without spending a whole ton of money up front and get the exact right clients? Well, it's the best way to do it is relationship marketing. I've talked about it is through JVs, joint ventures, and I've got one of the masters of it. Mark Porteous is on today. Mark, say hi.
Hey there. So glad to be here.
And we're going to talk today about how to do this, about his event coming up, Soulful Leadership Retreat here in Orlando. So if you're in Orlando, you definitely want to watch this. Why discernment's so important, how to run great relationship marketing, joint ventures, how to make sure it works, and how to build a business, as well as JV directory, an awesome opportunity to connect with thousands of businesses. All this on the Garlic Marketing Show. All right, let's get started. You're down the road from me, which is awesome. Tell everyone a little bit about your business and what you do, and also the Soulful Leadership Retreat.
Sure. So it's interesting because I have two different businesses. My wife and I run the Soulful Leadership Retreat, which is a part of the Soul Affiliate Alliance. And from the Soulful Leadership Retreat in 2020, one of the people that joined our MetaMind was David Ricklin, who's the founder of selfgrowth.com. He bought that URL in like the 90s,
That's
1995, I
amazing.
think.
Yeah.
And he's just somebody that I had looked up to for a long time. And then together we created something called the Joint Venture Directory. And my wife helps to manage kind of the back end of that. That's her specialty is managing teams and structures. But I really love the idea of collaboration, and joint ventures kind of has a different meaning to different people, especially in different industries. But that's really where my focus is on building partnerships.
And yeah, and actually, David Ricklin, if I'll put a link to it in the show notes. He talked about email marketing 6 years ago on the show. I was just looking it up, but it's I think it's everyone goes to these very difficult routes of funnels and building up all these difficult things, but really, partnerships are the fastest way to grow, aren't they?
In so many different ways. I mean, just strategically they are, but for me, it's also about like being around the people that you want to be around, like hanging out with the people and having relationships where it's not just transactional partnership.
Is Gino Wickman. I was introduced to Ian, and that's what brought me into this video world and got me embracing this video world. And Ian did exactly what I hoped. He got me really comfortable with putting videos out to the world
Nice.
and having a great strategy around putting videos out to the world, because there's so much more than just shooting a video. And so the way that he positions those videos, optimizes those videos, he's done a great job.
Right.
Mm, yes. No, it's so important. I have so many of those friends, and they become your close friends, the people you talk to all the time, and it just becomes natural, doesn't it? If you're around the right people.
Well, one of those people is Glenn Ledwell, and some people might know him in the affiliate marketing world with Mind Movies. He also has JV hacking software and everything else. But I remember a video that he did about a friend of his, and he had shared this in one of the chapters he wrote in one of our books about a friend where they were just chatting. We've made millions of dollars together, but way beyond that is like the friendship that we've had. We've gone on cruises together. We've done all these fun things together, and got to impact lots and lots of lives.
And that's what I love about, like, I know some of my best friends, my best business have come from these types of relationships, these types of events. You and I met at, I think Jay Fissett's event, or I don't remember. It's hard to put it all together, but being
It was
around
JVology.
it was, yeah, it was JVology, and but you, it's so important to be in rooms with these people if you want to grow a business, because you need the like-minded individuals, because it's almost impossible to do it on your own. I think there's this myth out there that, like, I can take a course and do it on my own, but you really need these people surrounding you because there's the ups and downs.
Business
And
is not do it yourself. No business
no,
can be a do it yourself model.
no, and that's why investing in being around these people, and it is an investment of time, and you should invest money because you want some sort of barrier, right? You don't want just like to go to a free networking group and then it's like no one like you. So, and that's why, like, I was super interested in sharing the Soulful Leadership Retreat. Tell me a little bit more about it and how it works and what it's doing to make this happen.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate again the urgency of getting this out there so timely and being able to move quickly. That's one of the things I really appreciate you and just all of the connections and really wanting to bring more of a transformational leadership into Florida. A lot of us are used to traveling out west for all of these events, and actually we have quite a community that's growing. And I know that you're well connected. For me, it really is about building partnerships and what I call relationship marketing. And just like green marketing can sound like, ew, I don't want to market just to sound green, or even cause marketing. It's important to actually have the cause. And with relationship marketing, it's the same way. It's not just, oh, we're building these relationships to build our business. The relationships matter. And like you said, you want to be strategic about where you're investing your time and energy. You want people that
Mhm.
have the same vision, the same mission, the same values, and have the same audience, the people that can help each other and grow together. And that's really what we're focused on in our world of personal development, professional development. A lot of people look at joint ventures as simply one-offs where I'll promote you and you promote me. And that is a very transactional approach that's turned a lot of people that are more into the personal development side, the softer kind of feely people turned off to
Yeah.
JVs. And a lot of people in general, like just people have had a lot of bad experiences. And I try to help avoid that. That's what this event is about, is usually it's because you bring two people together and they're not aligned. That's what creates the wobble. So if we start off, day one is really about connecting to who you are and seeing a bigger vision for who you are and what you want to create in the world. Day two is all about connecting to why you're here. What is your sole purpose, and what does your customer journey look like? So that not only can you attract the right people for customers, but also for partners. They know how to fit in. Same thing with you and I. Like you, like okay, here's what you're focused on. Here's how we can work together. And then the last day, day three, is all about connecting to your soul tribe, and that's your perfect customers, the people that you're here to support, your dream team, which are the people that are here to support you, and your affiliate ambassadors. Those are the people that have audiences like you who are aligned and can share your message with the world.
Yeah. No, and that's an amazing lineup because I'm working this year personally at like one of my things is vision. And it seems so like touchy-feely, but if you really look at the best in the world, the best businesses, I mean, Walt Disney, right here in our backyard. He had a clear vision, but he constantly worked on it, constantly refined it, was constantly thinking about it. I mean, I've read so many stories about him just sitting there, staring off and just imagining. And I think it seems like something that it's like, oh, I know where I'm going, and I know who my customer is, I know their journey. But I do this with so many people, and I've yet to meet anyone who's absolutely crystal clear. And even if you are crystal clear, you need to be coming back to it. I just did a podcast episode, a great one with Brady, and we were talking about you need to be revisiting this every 6 months, a year. So even if people don't know, like they think they know it, they really need to come to this and do this.
Mhm.
So, given that lineup, tell me a little bit about who the type of people that really should be coming to this event. And it's here in Orlando. It's February 3rd.
February 8th,
Oh,
9th,
sorry,
and
February
10th.
8th,
Yep.
9th, and 10th.
It's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We do have a VIP mastermind Sunday morning. And again, it's people who are very clear that they're here to serve.
Mhm.
They understand who their audience is and that they're really open to collaboration with people who are aligned with that vision, that mission. So we have people that are running $1 million coaching businesses. We have people that are just starting off, switching from being attorneys to now wanting to get their message out there in a bigger way. It'll be
Fantastic.
all over the place.
And I think it's great because I know that's why I want to have you on too, is because I know it's about bringing the right people in. And like we mentioned this, but I've been in the wrong rooms. And you don't, especially if you're getting started on doing this or you're just getting started in this type of business, it is easy to get into the wrong room. And you don't know it, just kind of feels a little off and then you think it's you. But so you're bringing in these types of, like you're saying, they're open to collaboration. Who Look, give me an example of someone who's had a lot of success and who like they want to be like that person.
Sure. So actually, a couple things about that. One is that when I talk about the people that are in the room and the people that are on the stage, some of the names are like well-known names. One of our clients, my wife manages her entire business, is Deborah Poneman. Deborah Poneman's been teaching Yes to Success since the 80s.
Wow.
I know that, um, oh my gosh, lots of very famous people have gone through her program. Deepak Chopra was the one I was just stumbling on, but he'd gone through her program 3 times before launching his very first book. And she talks about success on your own terms, that success isn't about just the things that you're accumulating and everything else.
Mm,
And I share her as an example because she is one, and Margaret Lynch is another, a friend of ours who's a very well-known breakthrough coach. But each one of them, a lot of times when you go to these events, everybody there is positioning themselves to sell something.
mhm.
Nobody from the stage is making any offers. We will invite people into our mastermind, but all of the speakers are there to set up the content. And then we have breakouts in the room. So we'll have over 100 people in the room.
Wow.
And after each session, there will be a mastermind at that table where you all get to break out saying, here's who I am, here's who I serve, here's what I'm looking for, the type of connections that I'm looking for, all through the whole 3 days of the event. So it's not just the people on the stage, but it really is curating the people in the room so that everybody brings value.
That's amazing. That is fantastic, and it's these types of things are so valuable, getting around masterminds, and you can unlock so much. I've been members of so many of them, and it's probably one of the best things you can do. And especially if it's curated already, and I love the fact that you've got these amazing speakers. Tell me a little bit about what else, who else you have coming on?
So we have some really fun things too. But in addition to the 3 days, it's at Reunion Resort, which is beautiful. And after our sessions, we'll have a dinner break, and then we'll come back for evening activities. On day one is Partner Palooza, which will be sponsored by David and I and JV Directory, and it'll be a very fun twist to networking, because again, networking can sometimes feel uncomfortable. We have a lot of people who are leaders from the stage, but introverts in real life, which is really, really funny. And they've shared this with me openly, but we're going to be making it really fun and easy to meet all the different people at every different level in their business. And then on day two, I've got Titans, we call it the Titan panel. It's going to be a laser love seats, or some people call them hot seats, where you can get whatever business questions, whatever the biggest challenge that you're facing, whether that's building your team, if it's marketing, if it's email strategies, whatever is not working in your business, you can come to these people. We have people like Health Means, Bobby Cardwell, who will be there. We have people like Christina Hills, who runs Create website creation workshops, people that have been around the industry for 10, 20 years, that'll be on this panel. Chris Kyle with Launch Academy. And so it's just going to be a fun, interactive way where everybody can learn and grow together.
And so, what have you done this version of the event? I know you've done the events other places, but have you done this version of the event before?
5 times. This is our fifth annual event. Now, of course, we did it first in 2020, February 2020. 3 weeks later, the whole world shut down. And then we did the next two virtually. We had 70 people the first year. We had 120 online the second year, 260 online the third year. But about 60% showed up the first year, 45% showed up online the second year, but all know how to be, virtual and everything else. Last year, we did it both. We did a hybrid where we had 80 people in the room and then 120 virtual, and it just split up the energy. So we really just wanted to focus on doing it live, but it's the same structure. And it's been the same structure every year for the last 5 years. But again, when you have different people in the room and different people sharing, it really is about the collective wisdom in the room.
And you're not just going to leave with because that's one of these things too that's really tough a lot of times. Is I know I go to some of these events, have to take a ton of notes, like aha moments, and then you got to get back into work. But you're going to leave with actual relationships, things set up, aren't you?
Not only are you going to have the relationships, but you're going to have a way that everybody in the room, because again, we've got 120 people we're anticipating being in the room or more. And probably out of that, 40 of them will stay in our meta mind, our mastermind, but we want to serve everybody in the room. So everybody will have a platform where they can all connect, no extra charge, that they'll be able to keep going with the relationships that they're building, because that's another problem. Sometimes you go into these events and you meet all these great people, and then you kind of go into overwhelm, or you go back into the other business. And so we will have a way so that not only can everybody stay connected, but they'll be very productive with the relationships they make. So every single person there is guaranteed an ROI on their time and their money.
And you've mentioned the JV directory. Tell me a little bit about JV directory and how that works.
I appreciate it, because that's really a fun tool for me. When David first brought it to me, he had already created a physical book, a joint venture directory back in 2012, and we wanted to update it and make it like a search engine. Was really what it was. The idea was to make it a software as a service for people in the self growth industry to help find the partners, to stages to be on, providers, and platforms like podcasts like this. And so we have over 600 podcast hosts that are looking for guests. We have over 1,500 members of people that are in this space that are looking to collaborate and to connect, and to support each other. And then we have
Wow.
several hundred leaders in the industry that are really just looking for other leaders, but they're great people to follow and to see what they're doing. But to me, this is a great vehicle that can help. It's in a large umbrella that anybody in the industry can benefit from. And we have these free networking events every 2 weeks. We have over 100 people on Zoom. Half of them are usually members, half of them are guests, but every 2 weeks. So that's 100 new people every month coming into the networks. So even our members that have been there, we have some members that have been there since December of 2020 and have been on every single call. We have 3 people that
Wow.
have not missed a call in 3 years. That's more than I haven't had that record.
That's amazing. That's phenomenal. And what an amazing group and an opportunity. I mean, it's not just 1,500 people, it's 1,500 people with all their connections. So it's exponential, right? Opportunity. And I imagine if you just connected with one person a day over the next 5 years, you'd have a pretty good business.
Absolutely, and that's I do talk a lot about discernment. That's one of the main tools that I look at, is that you don't want to partner with everyone, and
Yeah.
that's okay. You don't want everyone as a client either. You want to
No.
be very clear on who is a good client, who's a good partner, who isn't, and then you can refer out to people who might not be perfect for you. But uh, it only takes a few perfect clients to scale and to be able to create not just more money, more revenue, but also more freedom. You can have people like being on a show like this, where you have a much larger reach, more people can come together, and that's, you said, that exponential part.
And so we'll put a link to JB Directory and the retreat in the show notes. But Mark, like discernment is one thing, but what are the keys to really making this relationship marketing work well and work fast? You have like one or two or three tips that, like, hey, these are the three things that you need to do constantly if you really want to succeed with this.
Well, constantly is one of the things. Having some consistency, I think, is a great idea, and building that in. You mentioned that earlier, as part of your business plan is doing the relationship marketing. So even just following up with people, building in even an hour or two a week will have a huge payoff. But one of
Huge.
the things I think a lot of people are thinking about is they're saying, okay, I've got this event, and how do I find people to promote it? And we want to really flip that around. One of the most important things is to understand is what is the value that you're bringing to your partner. Everybody's favorite radio station is WIIFM. What's in it for me? Even people who are very giving and kind and everything else, they really want to understand what is the added value that you're bringing. So first, you want to know, what is the value that you're bringing to the audience. That's the first thing that you're looking for any guest that you bring in, is how are you going to add value to my audience. And then you can think about other things, is like, how are we going to network together? What are the other added values? But really, it's knowing that first. What are the benefits you bring? And a lot of people are like, I don't have a podcast, or I don't have a huge list of people, which is the number one thing most people are looking for. Most partners want visibility, but if you can't give them visibility, and there are ways to do that. Anybody can do a Facebook Live. There are lots of
Mhm.
ways that you can provide visibility, even if you don't have a big list. But the other things are like, being a customer. If you really are a fan of somebody's and you're using their product, you can talk about that with other people, becoming a raving fan. But really focusing on what is the added value, and it can even be your service. If you're an accountant, you might say to your people that, hey, I'll give you a free audit, or I'll come to your group and I'll do a free training, whatever that is. But think first about what is the value that you add before you start thinking about what it is that you want. But then when you do ask, be very, very clear on your ask.
Yeah, that's great. And when you say like setting up an hour a week, right? What does that hour a week look like to maintain relationships? I mean, is it 10 minutes a day? Is it 1 hour just sitting banging the phones? How
Right.
do you do that?
So for me, an hour a week is just an hour of on computer work, not actually the phone. So that would be sometime in that hour of even just reaching out to 5 people. Uh, the basic start is having a spreadsheet. There's lots of different ways to track your things, but everybody should have a spreadsheet of here's all of the people that I want to follow up with, and you can just add them right on there, and you can have a tracking of saying, hey, here's what when I talk to them, here's what the next piece is to follow up with. But if you just spend an hour looking at that and adding one new person every week to that, that's 4 people a month. It's really organizing of saying, here's where the priorities are. And again, it depends on what you're doing. But if you're looking to get on podcasts, you can have a list of, hey, here's all the podcasts that I want to be on, and then reaching out to 2 or 3 of them every week, sending an email, and then following up with all the ones that you have reached out to. You want to fit those 2 pieces in there.
Yeah, and you know what, like, and you saying like, people that you're a fan of. It makes a big deal. Like when someone says, "Oh, I'm a fan." Like I literally just before this got a LinkedIn message, like someone saying, "Oh, I love your book and really appreciate it," and that means a lot. And then you're like, and I've done that too. And you can add that in and build amazing relationships. I built. It's crazy, especially like I found like sometimes the bigger the person, the easier to get in touch. Like I became friends with Seth Godin online, through just like message him and a lot of these people early on. And you can do a lot with that if you're intentional with it. And like you said, bring value first, not what's in it for me.
Yep.
Like I think just quarantining that off, it's just for all this other time I mean, I love marketing, but all this other time we spend like testing Facebook ads and flushing money down the toilet. This is a thing that will 100% work if you do it right.
And you
Um,
mentioned Facebook ads. Real quick, I just want to kind of give a visual. Imagine if you went to Facebook and you told them that you wanted to generate $10,000 in sales, and that as soon as you generated $10,000 in sales, you would pay them 30% of that commission. They would laugh at you. They say, "No, no, no. You keep
yeah.
paying the ads, and hopefully you'll make sales someday." But that's the thing about joint ventures is that you don't pay for the marketing until you make the sale.
Yeah, until you make the sale, and it's a fantastic way, and you get exposure, and you bring value, and to your point too, I want people to realize that, like there's someone in your list that's valuable to someone else, and that person's gonna bring value. So even if you have 100 people on your list, sometimes like I know so many people are like, look at the activity. Are those 100 raving fans that will listen to you? Because you could have 100,000 person list that does nothing too, right?
And I have a very good friend who's a published author with Hay House and very, very well known, but has zero list. He doesn't keep a list, but he knows, 100 people who are all amazing. And even if it's 5 people, if you have one great connection, if you can get me in touch with Sir Richard Branson, that's all I need. One list. I don't need to
One
have 100 people
yeah,
list.
one person on the list, right? The right person, I mean, the right client can be worth anywhere, tons of money, but it can bring in tons more relationships. No, but this is awesome. So, recap real quick. Soulful Leadership Retreat, February 8th, Reunion Resort, Orlando. If you're watching this in the future, you can still go to the website. You're going to do this annually, hopefully still in Orlando. So all my Orlando friends, check it out. And a little recap about, how it works, just so we can have that one more time.
Sure. So again, it is an in-person event. It'll start on Thursday and then go through Saturday, February 8th, 9th, and 10th. From morning till afternoon, we have a lunch break. There is a VIP upgrade for people who want to have lunch there. There's 9 other restaurants on the property. Then we'll take a dinner break and come back and have some really fun networking activities called Partner Palooza on day 1 and the Titan panel on day 2. And again, day 3 is really about integrating all of that stuff, building those relationships, and then setting up a system so that people can actually implement the takeaways and the connections that they make.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, this is This works for everyone. You know, you get one great relationship, it's going to pay for those 3 days. You can sit there and try and make Facebook ads work, or you can try and cold call people for 3 days and hopefully get a meeting, or you can leverage this and be around the right people. But Mark, I'm super excited for the event. I'm so happy it's here. I think this will be great for a lot of people. I really appreciate you coming on the Garlic Marketing Show and talking all about this.
And I really appreciate you having me on here. Thanks for making it a priority to get it in early, and look forward to seeing you real soon.
I'll see you soon. And thank you all for taking Mark and I on our journey. This has been Iron Garlic and the Garlic Marketing Show.